Hello and welcome live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up over the next 1 hour, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Sikh gurus have taught Indians to live for the glory of their land. Lauds the sacrifice of Guru Gobind Singh's sons on Veer Bal Divas Day. Indian Navy's latest destroyer INS Imphal commissioned in Mumbai. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh issues a stern warning to those attacking ships with drones in the Arabian and the Red Seas. India's foreign direct investment spiked 64% in October to $8.4 billion, reaching its highest level in 18 months. And Prime Minister Modi's YouTube channel crosses 20 million subscriptions, making him the most followed world leader on the global video streaming platform. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Tuesday that the Sikh gurus have taught Indians to live for the glory of their land. They have served as an inspiration to make the country better. Speaking at a Veer Bal Divas event to commemorate the martyrdom of the two sons of Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Sikh Guru, the PM said India is now coming out of its mindset of slavery and has full faith in its people, their abilities and heritage.
A valiant display of three martial arts on one hand and a devotional recital on the other by children was the highlight of first Veer Bal Divas, marked in the presence of the nation's top leadership at Delhi's Bharat Mandapam. On the birth anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh last year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced that 26th of December will be observed as Veer Bal Divas each year to mark the martyrdom of the 10th Sikh Guru's sons, Sahibzadas Baba Zorawar Singh and Baba Fateh Singh. Speaking at the event, the PM said that India's youth power can take the nation to previously unimagined heights.
आने वाले 25 साल हमारी युवा शक्ति के लिए बहुत बड़ा अवसर लेकर आ रहे हैं। भारत का युवा किसी भी क्षेत्र में, किसी भी समाज में पैदा हुआ हो, उसके सपने असीम है। इन सपनों को पूरा करने के लिए सरकार के पास स्पष्ट रोड मैप है।
Remembering the sacrifices of the brave Sahibzadas, Prime Minister Modi stressed on taking inspiration from them.
आज के भारत के लिए साहिबजादों का बलिदान राष्ट्रीय प्रेरणा का विषय है। आज के भारत में भगवान बिरसा मुंडा का बलिदान, गोविंद गुरु का बलिदान पूरे राष्ट्र को प्रेरणा देता है।
The PM said that Veer Bal Divas is a symbol of going to any extent to protect Indianness.
वीर बाल दिवस भारतीयता की रक्षा के लिए कुछ भी कर गुजरने के संकल्प का प्रतीक है। ये दिन हमें याद दिलाता है कि शौर्य की पराकाष्ठा के समय कम आयु मायने नहीं रखती।
The day also saw the Prime Minister flagging off a march past by youth. Similar events were organized across the nation and even in foreign countries to inform and educate people, especially children, about the exemplary courage of the Sahibzadas. Bureau Report, DD India.
Now, the occasion of Veer Bal Divas was marked across the country today to salute the martyrdom of Guru Gobind Singh's sons. Indian ministers visited Sikh shrines in different parts of the country to pay their tributes and recall their inspirational sacrifices.
On the auspicious occasion of Veer Bal Divas, Indian ministers visited several Sikh holy shrines in different parts of the country and paid tribute to Sikh martyrs. India's Home Minister Amit Shah, along with BJP National President JP Nadda, offered prayers at Gurdwara Bara Sikh Sangat in Kolkata. Home Minister Shah took to social media platform X and wrote, and I quote, "On Veer Bal Divas, I bow to Guru Gobind Singh Ji's 4 Sahibzade and Mata Gujri Ji. With supreme courage, they stood against the brutal Mughal rule and chose martyrdom, refusing to convert. Their unmatched valor will continue to inspire generations to come." India's Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur visited Gurudwara Bangla Sahib in Delhi and also served langar or community kitchen on the occasion.
26 दिसंबर आज देश ही नहीं पूरी दुनिया भर में वीर बाल दिवस के रूप में मनाया जा रहा है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सोच कि साहसी वीर बालकों के लिए और विशेष तौर पर साहबजादों की शहादत को देश और दुनिया नमन कर रही है।
India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal also offered prayers at Gurudwara Bangla Sahib in Delhi.
वास्तव में आज का दिन हम सबके लिए बहुत ही पवित्र दिन है। वो यादें सामने आती हैं जो भारत के इतिहास में वीरों ने अपना बलिदान देकर देश की अखंडता, देश की सुरक्षा, देश की एकता को कायम रखा।
India's Urban Development Minister Hardeep Singh Puri offered prayers at Sri Harmandir Ji Patna Sahib in Bihar. He said he was very fortunate that he got opportunity to seek blessings on this occasion.
मेरा सौभाग्य है कि मैं आज के दिन मुझे श्री हरमंदिर जी पटना साहब आके माथा टेकने का सौभाग्य मिला।
The Sikh community from across the globe have hailed Indian Prime Minister for highlighting the importance of this day.
We thank the Government of India for remembering this day and honouring the Sahibzadas. We thank Prime Minister Narendra Modi who took the initiative to celebrate Veer Bal Divas in India. The Indian government has announced to commemorate the martyrdom of Sahibzades as Veer Bal Divas. The move will help people in knowing about Sikh history.
As I stand here today, I would first like to commemorate Bal Divas. Firstly, I would like to show my gratitude towards the UAE and Indian government for allowing us to have this land where we can freely practice our faith. The Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, has graciously held this event all throughout the world.
On the day of Prakash Parv of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, on 9th January 2022, the Prime Minister announced that 26th December will be observed as Veer Bal Divas to mark the martyrdom of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji's sons, Sahibzadas Baba Zorawar Singh Ji and Baba Fateh Singh Ji. Aman Kumar Himangshu's report for DD India.
And we'll be talking about the significance of marking of Veer Bal Divas, what it means for the Sikh community in the country and abroad as well, with a special guest, an expert guest later on in the show. But for the time being, we're moving on. Well, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has issued a stern warning to those attacking merchant ships using drones in the Red and even the Arabian Seas. He read the riot act to the attackers during an event in Mumbai, which saw the commissioning of India's latest warship, INS Imphal, which is an indigenously designed stealth-guided missile destroyer. Take a look.
Increasing the Indian Navy's prowess manifold, the commissioning of INS Imphal will strengthen the Indian Navy further, and it could be the best example of Atmanirbharta and could be termed as the best gift for the new year.
The Indian Navy has commissioned its latest stealth-guided missile destroyer INS Imphal at Naval Dockyard in Mumbai. The event was attended by India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The event marks the formal induction into the Navy of the third of 4 Visakhapatnam-class destroyers. Indigenously designed by the Indian Navy's in-house organization, Warship Design Bureau, and constructed by Mazagon Dock Limited, Mumbai. Indian Defence Minister said that induction of INS Imphal into Indian Navy shows India's self-reliance in defence sector.
INS Imphal का भारतीय नौसेना में शामिल होना रक्षा क्षेत्र में भारत की आत्मनिर्भरता का यह जीता जागता प्रमाण है। यह राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा के प्रति MDL एवं नेवी की कमिटमेंट और इसके निर्माण में शामिल सभी स्टेक होल्डर्स की कठिन मेहनत, लगन और समर्पण को भी दर्शाता है। INS इम्फाल की कमीशनिंग भारत की नौसैनिक शक्ति को और मजबूती प्रदान करेगा, ऐसा मेरा पक्का विश्वास है।
The Indian Defence Minister also warned those behind the recent drone attacks on MV Chem Pluto in Arabian Sea and drone attack on vessel MV Sai Baba in Red Sea. While addressing the gathering, Chief of the Naval Staff of the Indian Navy, Admiral Radhakrishnan Harikumar, asserted that Navy is ready to take on sea pirates in Arabian Sea.
INS Imphal will not only tackle physical threats that emanate at or from the seas, but more importantly, through a demonstrated strength of an integrated Bharat, she will deter nefarious designs trying to subvert our national unity. We have 4 destroyers of 15 Alpha and Bravo class deployed to counter piracy and drone attacks on merchant shipping. Also, we have air surveillance by Sea Guardians, P-8Is, Dorniers, helicopters, and Indian Coast Guard units, all deployed jointly to counter these threats.
Made in India destroyer has a 75% high indigenous content, including a medium-range surface-to-surface missile, the BrahMos missile, torpedo tube launchers, and a 76 mm super rapid gun mount. The weapon systems are developed by Indian firms.
INS Imphal will have the distinction of being the largest warship to be named after the city in Northeast. It is also demonstrating the Indian Navy's thrust on combat effectiveness and the confidence in indigenous cutting-edge weapons and platform. With camera person Shishir Dikshit, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Mumbai.
And Shama Mishra also spoke to Captain K.K. Chaudhary, who provided an in-depth overview of the features of INS Imphal. INS Imphal is a state-of-the-art warship and is a proud addition to the Indian Navy's fleet. Captain Chaudhary highlighted several key aspects of the vessel, emphasizing its advanced capabilities and strategic importance.
Here's the majestic INS Imphal, and we are on board. And while we are on board, let's talk to the captain, Kamal Chaudhary. He's with us, sir. Congratulations, and tell us about this majestic ship.
Imphal, along with other P-15 Bravo destroyers, these are the largest and the most advanced destroyers in the world. They are among the largest and the most advanced destroyers in the world. And Imphal has also the unique distinction of being named after a city from the northeast. So the ship completed all her trials within just 3 sorties. And within 4 months of this basin trials, she completed her final machinery trial. And I must also tell you, on the very first contractor sea trial, the ship fired 13 out of its 17 weapon mountings, which is unprecedented. And we got delivered to the Indian Navy within a span of 6 months. And after delivery, the ship, the hallmark of all our trials was the maiden, acceptance test firing of the BrahMos missile, the primary offensive weapon of the ship, which was carried out in the Arabian Sea off the western seaboard, and we scored a direct hit on the target.
Aspects of being unprecedented. There's something which is unique in the ship, that is women commissioning, officers' mess, women sailor mess. So this is happening for the first time. What's the way ahead?
Women are already in the Navy. We already had women officers. Now women sailors have already started coming in. You are already aware, women Agniveers are already in the Navy. So accommodation for women is a necessity, and this ship, since we were yet to get commissioned, this modification was undertaken on our ship, wherein dedicated accommodation for women officers as well as women sailors in sizable numbers have been created, and this would, I would say, this would facilitate deployment of women officers and sailors in larger numbers on board our frontline warships. And going forward, we know that the number of women on board ships is only going to increase.
We were talking to the captain of the ship, and we were getting to know what all unique features this ship carries. With camera person Jitesh Rathod, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Mumbai.
India has issued a stringent warning after the attack on MV Chem Pluto, the chemical tanker, an India-bound merchant navy vessel, which was allegedly hit by a drone on Saturday. The Defence Minister of India said on Tuesday that the perpetrators will be brought to justice, as India deploys guided stealth missile destroyer in the Arabian Sea.
अरब सागर में हाल में हुए एमवी चैम प्लूटो पर ड्रोन हमले और कुछ पहले लाल सागर में एमवी साईं बाबा पर हुए हमले को भारत सरकार ने बहुत ही गंभीरता पूर्वक लिया है। भारतीय नौसेना ने समुद्र की निगरानी बढ़ा दी है। जिन्होंने भी इस हमले को अंजाम दिया है उन्हें हम सागर तल से भी ढूंढ निकालेंगे और उनके खिलाफ कठोर कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh issued a dire warning to the perpetrators who attacked the merchant navy vessel MV Chem Pluto in the Red Sea. The India-bound vessel, which had a crew of 22, including 21 Indians and one Vietnamese crew, was attacked by a suspected drone on Saturday. Soon after the attack, the Indian Navy vessels provided security to the ship, which reached Mumbai and was safely anchored on Monday. On its arrival, the Indian Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team inspected the vessel to make a preliminary assessment of the type and nature of the attack. The Indian Navy announced the deployment of guided missile destroyers including INS Mormugao, INS Kochi and INS Kolkata to maintain a deterrent presence in the view of the recent attacks in Arabian Sea. The Indian Navy has also deployed P-8I long-range patrol aircraft for regular surveillance and to maintain domain awareness. The Indian Navy has also deployed P-8I Poseidon long-range patrol aircraft for regular surveillance and to maintain domain awareness. Earlier, the US had claimed that the drone that hit the ship was launched from Iran. However, in a recent statement, the Iranian Foreign Ministry has rejected these claims as baseless.
Basically, from the legal, international and moral point of view, the American government is not in a position to make accusations and claims against other parties in the region or outside the region. We consider these claims completely rejected and worthless.
Meanwhile, the Indian government has launched a thorough investigation into the attack. However, the rising number of such attacks against commercial vessels in the Red Sea has far-reaching consequences for global trade, as many ships are forced to take longer routes to avoid the high-risk zone in the backdrop of the ongoing Hamas-Israel conflict. Akshay Dongre, DD India.
And still to come on DD India News Hour, a temple in Kerala wins UNESCO honor for cultural heritage conservation. Serbia witnesses protests against reported widespread irregularities during a recent general ballot. And charm of the Elephant Festival returns to touristic town Sauraha in Nepal.
Do you know there's an investor protection fund for investors, IPF, but if your trade isn't executed on the exchange or if it's some guaranteed return scheme, then even IPF will not be able to help you.
And what if your broker becomes a defaulter then?
In that case, IPF can provide you with compensation.
Where did you learn this?
NSE's website.
Sir, try berry pulao. Too good. Good, no? Hey, why are you giving him such looks? Ignore tips and use your own mind before you order. Lots of people give unsolicited stock tips. It can be dangerous. Study the company and the risk associated. Invest only after analysis.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy. Foreign direct investment in India has jumped 64% in October to $8.4 billion US. This is the highest in 18 months. The latest data released by the Reserve Bank of India shows that inflows have increased 3 months in a row. Here's more in this report.
Despite various global challenges, India seems to be the first choice for investors. An increase of 64% has been seen in the foreign direct investment coming into the country in the month of October. Looking at the FDI figures for October, it stood at the level of $8.4 billion.
भारत के अपने प्रयास हैं, वैश्विक परिदृश्य भी कुछ अनुकूल हुआ है, इन्फ्लेशन कम हुआ है और इंटरेस्ट रेट भी विदेशों में घटा है या बढ़ नहीं रहा है, उसका भी प्रभाव आ रहा है। और भारत ने जिस प्रकार से अपने यहाँ मोदी की गारंटी के तहत कार्यक्रम को बढ़ाया है, प्रगति की है, तो जापान, यूरोप, अमेरिका ये भी अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट को डाइवर्सिफाई कर रहे हो, भारत में भी इन्वेस्टमेंट ला रहे हैं। टेस्ला जैसी कंपनी भी भारत आने को आतुर दिखाई पड़ती है।
According to the data released by the Indian Central Bank, FDI between the month of April and October was $41.5 billion, which is 6.7% less than last year. According to INS Imphal report, mega deals were seen in many sectors in India in 2023. This investment took place in the communication, semiconductor, automatic software, biomass sector. NTT, Micron Technology, Hyundai, Suzuki and Microsoft have invested in India. According to the latest report of OECD, global FDI investment in the first 6 months of the year 2023 stood at $727 billion. And India, America, UK, Brazil are the first choice for investors for FDI investment. According to data by the Indian government, the FDI in the period between 2014 and 2023 has been about $596 billion, which is about double compared to the period between 2005 and 2014. With inputs from Ajay Mishra, DD India.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who is in Russia on a 5-day visit, interacted with the members of the Indian community in Moscow on Tuesday. Dr. Jaishankar labelled the India-Russia relationship as exceptional in world politics. He also praised the Indian community's role in strengthening ties between the two nations.
When we think about the relationship with India and Russia, it is in many ways actually an exceptional relations. Exceptional not just for the two countries, but actually in, I would say, in world politics. From the early 50s, it actually for 70, 80 odd years, and there have been big changes in this period. You know, this was a period when actually the Soviet Union became Russian Federation, among other countries. When actually big changes have happened in world politics, when Russia has actually transformed, India has grown. And yet, if there is one constant actually in world politics, it has actually been the relationship with India-Russia.
The Karnikara Mandapam of the Kunamangalam Bhagwati Temple in Kozhikode has been selected for UNESCO's Asia-Pacific Award for Cultural Heritage Conservation. We'll tell you all about this temple in Kerala, that's an Indian state, in the south, in our next report.
The Karnikara Mandapam of Kunamangalam Bhagwati Temple in southern Indian state of Kerala is an architectural marvel fashioned after a lotus. In its original state, the pavilion was made entirely with 16 wooden pillars made of teak. A member of the temple's management committee, Dr. Abida Puttasuri, talks more about the temple and its renovation work.
Kozhikode Karunur Kundamangalam Sri Bhagavati Kshetram, about 1,000 years old temple. Recently we got a UNESCO award 2023. This award is mainly for the conservation of the tradition and also the sustainable development. Here the award is for our revival of the Karnikara Mandapam. Normally the Karnikara Mandapam is made with 4 pillars, but here it is very rare. It is made with 16 pillars with a wood called Venga, and here we completed this work within 2.5 months.
The 1,000-year-old temple has been renovated according to Tachu Sastra's judgment without losing its legacy.
with an immense support from the Archival and Research Project, an organization working for the preservation of the architectural heritage of Kerala, the project attained completion. Kirat Chawla for DD India.
Now, turning once again to international shores, there seems to be no end to the Israel-Hamas conflict, which began following the 7th of October attacks by the Hamas. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant hinted that the country had retaliated in Iraq, Yemen and Iran in a response to the attacks carried out against it, as the war with the Hamas-led Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip widens to other areas of the region.
The sky above the border between Gaza and southern Israel filled with thick smoke on Tuesday as fights continue. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to continue fighting against terror group Hamas until the end. Accompanied by Deputy Chief of Staff Major General Amir Bahram, Netanyahu spoke with soldiers and commanders in northern Gaza on Monday, during which he said the war was far from over and dismissed what he cast as media speculation that his government might call a halt to the fighting.
Whoever talks about stopping, there is no such thing. We are not stopping. The war will continue until the end. October 7th is not over. It is not over. We have to make sure that it never happens again. This requires what each and every one of you is asking for, just to continue until the end. Until the end. And I'm just proud of your determination. It's not easy. On the other hand, it is easy. Simply to continue to the end. I salute you like this.
The Israeli army released multiple videos in which they claim they have recovered a vehicle belonging to one of the hostages taken by Hamas during the October 7 attack. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant hinted on Tuesday that the country had retaliated in Iraq, Yemen and Iraq for attacks carried out against it as the war with terrorist group Hamas in the Gaza Strip widens to other areas of the region.
We are in a multi-front war and are coming under attack from 7 different theaters: Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Judea and Samaria, West Bank, Iraq, Yemen and Iran. We have already responded and taken action in 6 of these theaters. And I say here in the most explicit way, anyone who acts against us is a potential target. There is no immunity for anyone.
Meanwhile, 218 trucks loaded with humanitarian aid for the people of Gaza were inspected and transferred to the Gaza Strip. 76 of the trucks were inspected and transferred to Gaza via the recently opened Karim Salom crossing, which is located in the corner where the Egyptian, Israeli and Gazan borders meet. Aman Kumar Himangshu's report for DD India.
And in a related development or not, the Delhi police today received a phone call claiming there was a blast near the Israeli embassy, though the authorities haven't found any explosives in or around the area so far. The embassy staff is said to be safe and its security team is said to be working in cooperation with the Delhi police. Let us now
This evening, several minutes after 5, an explosion occurred in close proximity to the embassy. All our workers are safe, all our diplomats are safe. Our security teams are working in full cooperation with the local Delhi security, and they will investigate the matter further.
Let's now take a look at some other developments that have been coming in from around the world as well. In a major breakthrough, a hospital in Japan's Tokyo has for the first time started administering a new drug to treat Alzheimer's disease. Lecanemab was jointly developed by a Japanese pharmaceutical firm, Eisai, and its US partner Biogen. The drug is designed to slow the progression of the disease by reducing the accumulation of the amyloid beta protein in the brain. Police in France on Tuesday arrested a man suspected of murdering his wife and 4 children in a knife attack early on Christmas Day in the French town of Meaux. Police detained the man in a nearby town on Monday. According to prosecutors, the man has a history of mental illness and is under medication. 23 luxury cars that had been confiscated from crime organizations by Istanbul police were turned into traffic police vehicles. The vehicles nabbed from the criminal gangs were handed over to Istanbul police after a makeover. They were put on display in Istanbul, where Turkish Interior Minister Ali Yerekiyaya inspected them. The Elephant Festival returned to the Nepalese tourism town of Soraha after a halt of 3 years due to the COVID pandemic. Locally called Hathi Mahotsav, the festival featured a parade of about 50 decorated elephants. Women, dressed in traditional attire, danced to the tunes of folk music, while the mahouts, or the elephant riders, paraded the tuskers in a queue during the show. And still to come up on DD India News Hour, we'll be talking about the significance of the nation saluting the martyrdom of the 10 Sikh Guru's sons with our expert guest. PM Modi's YouTube channel surpasses 20 million subscribers, far ahead of other global leaders. And a thick blanket of snow covers Gulmarg in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir in North India.
Do you know there's an investor protection fund for investors, IPF, but if your trade isn't executed on the exchange or if it's some guaranteed return scheme, then even IPF will not be able to help you.
And what if your broker becomes a defaulter then?
In that case, IPF can provide you with compensation.
Where did you learn this?
NSE's website.
Sir, try berry pulao. Too good. Good, no? Hey, why are you giving him such looks? Ignore tips and use your own mind before you order. Lots of people give unsolicited stock tips. It can be dangerous. Study the company and the risk associated. Invest only after analysis.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Gautam Roy. And before we go any further, here's another look at our top stories. The Indian Navy's latest destroyer INS Imphal is commissioned in Mumbai. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh issues a stern warning to those attacking ships with drones in the Arabian and Red Seas. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi's YouTube channel crosses 20 million subscriptions, making him the most followed world leader on the global video streaming platform. And let's now talk about the significance of the nation marking the martyrdom day of Guru Gobind Singh's sons as Veer Bal Divas. To talk about it, we have with us this evening Iqbal Singh Lalpura, Chairperson Minority Commission of India in Delhi. Good evening to you. Mr. Lalpura, what do you make of this event that was marked throughout the nation and in different world capitals as well? An event that has been instituted and it was marked for the first time today as Veer Bal Divas. What's its significance for the Sikh community?
We are celebrating Amrit Mahotsav. During this period, the Honorable Prime Minister has taken initiative to teach our own history, our heroes, and the sacrifices made by our Indians for the freedom of the country, for the protection of the society, for the protection of the humanity. And as far as Sikhism is concerned, I think he has done what other Sikhs could not do so far.
Right, and this is not the first time that such a step has been taken by this government and Prime Minister Modi himself. There have been several steps, if you go back to 2014, that can be recounted in terms of what kind of endeavours has been made by this government, by the Modi government for the Sikh community.
Yes, we celebrated, the government celebrated Guru Nanak 550th birthday, Guru Gobind Singh's 350th birthday, Guru Tegh Bahadur's 40th, 100th year birthday, and all other celebrations or our events related to the Sikh history. Not only in Punjab, where the Sikhs live in large number, but this history has been shown and placed for the world. We have celebrated all these events world over, courtesy to the Honorable Prime Minister, who has taken initiative that all such events of relating to Sikh history, the sacrifice of Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib, for the Tilak and Janjus, and the martyrdom of the four Sahibzadas, Guru Nanak's contribution to the upliftment and of the society, and the contribution of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib should be known to the people world over, not only to the Sikhs. In India, every corner of the country has celebrated these events. Even Martyr Day is celebrated all over the country. I think this is a great job taken by any Indian Prime Minister in the history so far, and I think he is a better Sikh than any of us. He has the vision, he has the knowledge, he knows the history and philosophy of the Sikhs. So whenever he gets a chance, I think he leaves no stone unturned to bring these facts in the notice of the world people living in every corner of the world.
Certainly. And in the larger context, when you talk about the global message, what does it tell the world in terms of how India celebrates its cultural and religious diversity, how it takes care of its minorities, especially when there are elements, there are mischievous elements around the world who try to paint India in a totally different light when it comes to how it treats its minorities?
In India, the minorities are totally safe, I can say on record. The minorities are growing here. In 1952-51 census, the minority population in India was 16%. And as of today, that is 2001 census.
The last census.
Their number has gone up to 21%. And the majority has come down from 84 to 79%. We have been Prime Minister of the country from minority. We had Prime President from the minority. They excel everywhere in the country. We have Nawab Pataudi, we had Vishen Singh Bedi, what to talk of Field Marshal Sam Manik Shah, we have Marshal of the Year Arjun Singh. And where you cannot locate this is not in comparison to this in Pakistan. The population of minorities were 22% at the time of partition. Now they are only 4%. Same is the case with Bangladesh. And the worst is Afghanistan, where they were about 8 lakh Sikh and Hindu living in 80s, but now they are not even 80 Hindus or Sikhs living. And they have even destroyed the statues of Mahatma Buddha made by their forefathers. So India is a safe haven for the minorities, and we get every chance. However, this hate crime is going on in world over. Recently, the Americans have constituted a commission to look after the hate crime against the Indians there living there. भारतीय लोगों के बारे में जो है वो उन्होंने commission बनाया.
And what would you tell those who say, well, the Modi government is trying to cultivate the Sikh community because it sees that there is a chance that they could be turned into a vote bank, or they are a vote bank, but when it comes to Muslims, it's a different set of eyes that they have in terms of seeing that community, because we've had people from the Muslim community as well who've been chased away from other countries. They've been sheltered in our country.
Yes. As I requested you, India is a safe place for all the minorities. People who are suffering, I am looking at the majority we in a minority, we look after Sikh religion. That is Christianity, Islam, Sikh, Jain, Bodh, and Zoroastrian, that is Parsi. To me, every minority is my own family. And I have met all the people in Nuh and everywhere. They are safe here. They are progressing here. The Prime Minister loves each and every person. Yesterday, he celebrated not Christmas at his home, but we were all there in the churches to be with our Christian friends. Same is the case with Muslim brothers. So we Muslims are very happy, particularly after the steps taken by the Honorable Prime Minister to uplift the ladies, protect their rights, and to promote education in the Muslim community.
Certainly. That is the way how things are in India, and that's how the world ought to see it as well. And all those who talk about a different India when such occasions are celebrated by persons such as Prime Minister Modi and people of the highest eminence in the country, they get a slap right across their faces. Thank you so much for joining us and talking about it. Iqbal Singh, Lalpura, Chairperson, Minority Commission of India.
Thank you.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's YouTube channel has achieved a significant milestone on Tuesday as well. Prime Minister Modi's YouTube channel has reached 20 million subscriptions, making it the most subscribed channel among top global leaders. Prime Minister Modi is the only world leader to have achieved this distinction and leads other global and Indian contemporaries by a huge margin. With a staggering 4.5 billion views, the Narendra Modi YouTube channel leads the pack in terms of subscribers, video views and quality of videos being posted by political leaders on YouTube. Now, Tuesday has been day 671 of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Thousands have died and millions displaced. But the fighting rages on. Both Moscow and Kyiv have now exchanged conflicting claims on Mar'yinka in the East Ukraine that showed vast areas of the town in the Donetsk region in ruins.
Claims and counterclaims over control of Mar'yinka town continue both from Moscow and Kyiv. Moscow claims full control of Mar'yinka, but Kyiv's military denied Moscow's claim. The Russian-installed official in Donetsk said the enemy lost a colossal amount of personnel and equipment.
Taking the fortified area of Mar'yinka was very difficult. The enemy had been preparing for many years for us to storm it. And in principle, the fortifications there were very serious. It cost us a lot of effort. But at the same time, the enemy lost a colossal amount of personnel and equipment. Moreover, it is worth noting that, according to the prisoners themselves, the life expectancy of Ukrainian servicemen freshly sent to the Mariinsky sector of the front was 3 to 4 days.
Russian president said the control of town will allow the Russian forces to move enemy combat units away from Donetsk. Putin added that troops have opportunity to reach a wider operational area. Kyiv military denied Moscow's claims, saying Ukrainian troops were still with the borders of the blighted town. Ukraine has claimed to have destroyed a Russian warship docked in Crimea, as the Kremlin admits that damage has been sustained. The landing ship, Novotcherkassk, was hit at a base in the city of Feodosia, southeast Crimea, in the early hours of Tuesday. Rahul Upadhyay reports for DD India.
In Serbia, thousands of protesters over the elections earlier this month have been saying that international monitors too have in fact said that have been unfair. 38 people have been held by Serbian police, but more are likely to be arrested as law and order worsens. Now that it is claimed that groups with foreign support are inciting protests over the Serbian election, the Kremlin has made its political debut in the country as well. DD India's Mihir Mercury gets us more.
Serbia is witnessing a major political uproar against reported widespread irregularities during a recent general ballot. Monday also saw several thousand people gather in front of the Central Election Commission building in Belgrade. Monday witnessed Serbian students banging pots and chanting quote-unquote disclosed ballot lists outside Serbian ministries, demanding an inspection of voters' list of parliamentary and local elections held a week ago that international observers said were unfair. As per Serbian police, the opposition's Sunday protest over election results resulted in 38 individuals being detained. Now, in order to preserve stability and tranquility, the police anticipate further arrests. The protesters assume that those being held by the police were being held at the main police station, so they marched there on Monday.
We are here tonight and we are peaceful. And we will stay peaceful. But that is not going to last forever. There is a wall behind us we were pushed against, while police cordons are in front of us. I'm asking Serbian President Alexander Vučić, who is paying for these police batons, who is paying for those pepper sprays and the tear gas, who is paying for that?
Since the December 17 elections, when Vučić's party declared victory in both the parliamentary and Belgrade municipal ballot elections, opposition group Serbia Against Violence has been staging rallies, claiming election fraud, especially in the capital city of Belgrade. Meanwhile, Serbia's ally Russia said foreign-backed forces were trying to foment trouble.
Besides, there are obvious processes and attempts of third-party forces, including foreign-backed forces, to provoke unrest in Belgrade. That is what we see. We have no doubt authorities of Republic will provide legitimacy in the country.
The protests on Sunday were also characterized by President Vučić as an effort to topple the administration with outside assistance. As a candidate for the European Union, Serbia has resisted calls from the West to impose sanctions on Russia because Moscow has long been one of the Serbia's closest allies. Mihir Makri, DD India.
Let's now take a look at some other updates that have been coming in from around the country. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be in Jammu and Kashmir for a one-day visit related to security preparations in border districts of Rajouri and Poonch on Wednesday. This visit comes in the wake of the frequent terror attacks that two districts have been witnessing recently. During the visit, Rajnath Singh is supposed to hold a high-level meeting and an on-the-spot assessment of the areas under attack. Fire broke out in an empty luggage-cum-guard van coach stationed in the Nanded maintenance yard in the Indian state of Maharashtra on Tuesday. According to the authorities, the fire was completely brought under control within 30 minutes of the incident. The damage caused by the fire is yet to be completely ascertained. The town of Gulmarg in Jammu and Kashmir of northern India is covered in a thick layer of snow. Tourists were seen having fun outdoors. And still to come on DD India News Hour, Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra continues its journey to parts of Katwa district in the Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Day 1 of India versus South Africa's first test at the Centurion is called off due to rain. The visiting side ends a day, that is a Boxing Day test, on 208 for 8.
Do you know there's an investor protection fund for investors, IPF, but if your trade isn't executed on the exchange or if it's some guaranteed return scheme, then even IPF will not be able to help you.
And what if your broker becomes a defaulter then?
In that case, IPF can provide you with compensation.
Where did you learn this?
NSE's website.
Sir, try berry pulao. Too good. Good, no? Hey, why are you giving him such looks? Ignore tips and use your own mind before you order. Lots of people give unsolicited stock tips. It can be dangerous. Study the company and the risk associated. Invest only after analysis.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy. The Indian government is running a nationwide outreach initiative called Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra to raise awareness to achieve saturation of various welfare programs. The ongoing Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra visited various parts of Katwa district in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday. The IEC van visited Panchayat Mahanpur A, Naushera, Chunera, Dhamlar in Tehsil Mahanpur in Katwa district. The IEC van showcased Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call to action, aiming to encourage local residents to contribute to the advancement of the nation. People also availed free healthcare services provided under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Besides, beneficiaries also shared their success stories under Meri Kahani, Meri Zubani. And the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra also reached the Para area of Lucknow in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. A large crowd gathered to welcome the van. On this occasion, people were given information about the government schemes. Beneficiaries who took advantage of various schemes also shared their stories under Meri Kahani, Meri Zubani. And time now to get you some sporting updates as well. Well, day one of the India versus South Africa first test at the Centurion was called off on Tuesday due to rain. Team India was at 208 for the loss of 8 wickets after 59 overs. Batsmen Virat Kohli and Shreyas Iyer tried to guide India to safety by adding over 65 runs for the 4th wicket, but both fell after the lunch break of the Boxing Day test. Kohli scored 38 while Iyer hit 31. Earlier, South Africa's captain Temba Bavuma won the toss and put India into bat on a wet wicket. And Australia made a solid start to the Boxing Day test against Pakistan on Tuesday, but rain washed out a chunk of play there as well, and tight bowling restricted them to 187 for 3 at the end of opening day. Marnus Labuschagne, who had made 44 not out, and Travis Head, who was unbeaten on 10, will resume on Wednesday as the hosts seek a victory that will seal a series triumph with a third and final test to spare. Pakistan's bowlers found plenty of movement in the overcast conditions and were rewarded with the wickets of David Warner, Usman Khawaja and Steve Smith. But a patient Labuschagne was immovable as the hosts looked to seal the 3-test series after thumping the visitors by 360 runs at Perth. The All India Football Federation and its President Kalyan Chaubey has called for a meeting with the Referees Committee and Chief Refereeing Officer Trevor Kettle on the 31st of December to discuss the refereeing situation and take appropriate steps for taking Indian football ahead. A team of referee assessors will also attend the meeting, which will also discuss way forward on the matter. Refereeing decisions have been a topic of discussion in the footballing world, and even more so in India, after 7 players were sent off in the match between Mumbai City and Mohun Bagan. Additionally, a total of 9 yellow cards were also shown. East Bengal had also lodged a complaint about the refereeing decisions in their match against Odisha FC. Manchester United and visiting Aston Villa both will be looking to rebound from weekend setbacks when they meet on Boxing Day at Old Trafford. United lost 2-0 to West Ham United in a game in which they had the majority of the possession. Eliminated from this year's UEFA Champions League in the group stage, the Red Devils' chances of returning next year are quickly fading. Villa could have entered Christmas leading the league table if they had managed to take care of lowly Sheffield United. Instead, Villa was kept in check for the first 75 minutes, then actually went behind before Nicolo Zaniolo rescued the villains by heading home Douglas Luiz's lovely cross in the 7th minute of second half stoppage time. They drew 1-1 with Sheffield United. At least 200 runners in Berlin tried to lose the holiday calories after Christmas celebrations at the traditional roast goose digestion run on Tuesday. The runners usually take on a 5-kilometer loop before they gather for mulled wine and pastries. Being the 23rd edition of the run, the organizers have reached the age of senior citizens and are starting to wonder about the tradition's future. Roast goose is a traditional Christmas food in Germany, served with red cabbage, kale and potato dumplings. Well, we all need to run every now and then, the more frequent the better. And that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram as well. We'll be back with more news and updates as they happen right here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.